Hello, this is Jocelyn Chase. Welcome to this virtual tour through the beautiful and fascinating territory of Staccato Passage, and thank you for allowing me to be your guide. My first thriller novel, Nocturne In Ashes, introduced my series character Riley Forte, a concert pianist whose career spun way off course after her husband and 7-year-old son were killed.
From the acclaimed author of Stedman's Blind, a thrill ride into the brutal and deadly when a killer and catastrophe come together. If you like a gripping, suspenseful tale, grab the thrilling Nocturne in Ashes today and prepare to burn the midnight oil. Available now on online bookstores everywhere.
Nocturne in Ashes takes place during the catastrophic eruption of Mount Rainier near Seattle, Washington. The disaster sends huge waves of mud crashing into the Puget Sound, displacing the water and causing extensive flooding. Many communities, including Riley's own neighborhood, became isolated, virtual islands. In the weeks before the eruption, a serial killer known as the Puget Sound Slasher stalked the area, claiming a string of victims. Bellevue Police Detective Nate Quentin and his partner Rick Jimenez are on the case and split up to follow diverging leads, one on each side of the Puget Sound. Moments before Rainier explodes, Rick, in Seattle, discovers the identity of the killer. But in the chaos of the disaster, all communication is cut off, and he can't reach Nate to pass on the information. Because Nate is across the water, investigating a lead in the killer's neighborhood, where he meets Riley. I won't reveal more than that, but I will tell you the story is chilling, exciting, and packed with suspense. The book ends with Riley being recruited by an elite, under-the-radar private security firm, opening the door to the sequel, Staccato Passage. Staccato Passage takes place at an ultra-secret spy academy in the heart of Bavaria, where Riley goes to learn all the tools of the trade she'll need for her undercover assignment as a concert pianist on tour. But of course, nothing so smooth as that happens in the book. Almost as soon as she arrives, Riley is met with devastating news, leaving her crushed and vulnerable, even as the danger around her rises to new levels. But you'll have to read the book to find out all about it. In this virtual tour, I want to take you around the countryside of Bavaria and show you my real-life inspiration for where some of the fictional scenes from Staccato Passage take place. Sprinkled across the mainly flat landscape of central Bavaria, a series of small basalt mountains poke up on the horizon, the result of a long-ago collision of the tectonic plates. I live near 2 of these extinct volcanoes, and the Olivero Spy Academy, where Riley trains to go undercover, is situated at the base of a larger, fictional volcanic mountain. The Academy, disguised as a conference center catering to private organizations, is spread across several acres at the foot of the mountain. The top of the dormant volcano is occupied by a convention center often used for important meetings between world leaders and influential figures. As the book begins and Riley arrives at Olivero, The staff up at the convention center are preparing for a peace summit. Connect the dots, and you may think you know what happens next. Or maybe you don't. This video footage shows you how the cooling lava flow formed into hexagonal tubes, like the Giant's Causeway in Ireland, or the basalt column cliffs in Iceland. So amazing. And look at the gorgeous countryside surrounding the mountain. This is Bavaria. You are looking at Parkstein, and this is a much smaller version of what my make-believe mountain might look like. And instead of a church at the top, imagine a resort-like convention center. Instead of a village below, imagine the campus of a spy school. That's what I imagined when I created the setting for Staccato Passage. Here's a snippet from the book. "Oh, look," Liesl said, pointing out the plate glass window. "There's a peregrine falcon." They stood side by side, watching the falcon soar across the cloudless spring sky, Liesl feeling inordinately proud that she'd been able to offer such a sight. She pointed out the two basalt mountains, but he'd know all about those already. He'd be more interested in specifics relating to the convention center. "The stone for the fireplace," she said, sweeping her arm to encompass the massive structure and feeling foolishly like a game show hostess, "was taken from a local quarry." She refrained from mentioning that the quarry had originated as part of a Nazi labor camp. "And the wooden sled you see suspended there," she continued, "is reputed to have been the boyhood toy of Levi Strauss before he emigrated to America and started his famous blue jeans company." "Very interesting indeed, Miss Saunders." Forrest paused. "I hope you won't think me crude for asking," he said, "but can you take me into the bowels of the place? The parts guests don't normally see? That's what I would find most intriguing." She hesitated. "The center doesn't have any secret passageways or priest holes that I'm aware of." He laughed. "I'm not asking for anything so fantastic as that, just the ordinary inner workings." "You mean like the kitchens, the storage closets and maintenance rooms?" "Ah, yes," he said, "that's exactly what I mean. I want to see the guts of the place, and in turn, I'll be more than happy to accept your invitation." "My invitation?" "The reason you asked me here, Ms. Saunders. I suspect you were going to ask me to take your guests on a small walking tour, much like we're doing now, except that I'd be showing them the area's flowers and explaining the birds and bees, so to speak." Liesl felt a rush of blood to her face. "Well, yes, that is what I was going to ask you." A couple of early scenes from the book take place at the Nuremberg airport, where significant things are afoot. I'm not going to give away any details, but these airport scenes set the stage for suspense and drama. Here's a snippet. Riley stood on the curb, flanked by her suitcase and carry-on. The crisp morning breeze swirled through a tiny pile of leaves and litter, sending pieces of it skittering across the pavement in front of her. A young man in a knit beanie boogied past, blasting music from a handheld device. As he stopped near her, the driving beat was blotted out by the roar of an airliner taking off. An elderly couple vacated the bench behind her, but Riley was too nervous to sit. Her flight had touched down just after 10 o'clock the night before, and after clearing customs, Riley had walked across to the airport hotel and checked in under the name Janice Fairmont. She was now officially undercover. A seasoned traveler, this was the first time she'd used a false name and faked documents, and she was experiencing a mixed cocktail of feelings. It was part fulfillment of a fantasy, fun and exciting. But she found that aspect being eclipsed by guilt, misgivings, and a touch of fear. She comforted herself by remembering that once she'd mastered the technique, she wouldn't need to resort to it again. The whole point of recruiting her had been to use her true identity as a touring concert pianist to get her into certain circles and locations. This was just a necessary part of her training. In a later chapter of the book, Riley must complete her first solo exercise as a spy, a dead drop in the city of Weiden. Here's a snippet. "Find a dead drop," Ilya said, "and leave me something. Go for a coffee. Come back after an hour and see what I left for you." He grinned, then his face quickly sobered. "But don't forget the check marks." "I won't, Ilya, thank you." He pressed a stick of chalk into her hand. "Good luck, recruit." At the motor pool, Riley was given a slightly battered Volkswagen with a faded blue paint job. Before she started the engine, she took a moment to familiarize herself with the map and decide on a route. She scrawled a note for Ilya on a page from her notebook. "Roses are red, violets are not. Thanks for teaching me how not to get caught." As she entered the city of Weiden and traffic thickened around her, she started to feel claustrophobic, longing to be out on the open road again. She'd given herself landmarks to watch for and felt relieved to recognize a couple of them. She was on the right track. I hope you're excited and ready to read the book. Thank you so much for purchasing Staccato Passage, and I encourage you to leave a review when you've finished reading to help other readers find and enjoy it too. Thank you for being an active participant in the Staccato Passage book launch. I invite you to visit my website at jocelynchase.com and check out my YouTube channel and profiles on BookBub, Goodreads, and Facebook. Thank you for watching.